Do you ever feel like you're constantly hitting the reset button? That you really want to eat healthy, you really want it to become a lifestyle, but somehow you get off track, you get distracted, and before you know it, you're eating things that are not good for you and you're feeling guilty about it. Well, trust me, I know where you're coming from. I spent decades of my life doing just that thing. Um, in fact, if I read for you out of my health journal, which I have kept for several years of my life, you would see entries in there about how depressed I was and how I felt there was no hope, that I would never lose the extra weight, that other people had discipline, but I did not. It was just a desperate situation many times when I was writing in my journal. Now, there were some entries where I would say, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing really good, I've lost 5 pounds, I want to lose this amount by such and such time, and my mood was up. But as soon as a temptation came my way, or I felt deprived, that's usually where it started. I feel deprived because I wanted a particular thing and it wasn't on my diet, so therefore I would tell myself I'm just going to eat it this one time, or I'm just going to go off for this weekend because we have this special event, and then I'll get back on, and then weeks would go by and I would gain the weight back. It was just a never-ending yo-yo dieting, and some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Very discouraging, very disheartening. If you could see the secrets inside my health journal. And I kept hitting reset, and I kept ending up in the same spot. So I think that the difference now that I'm on the other side of more than 5 years eating plant-based 100%, I think when I look at this 5 years, I think the difference in the reset button is different. So let me share it with you. I think that my concern when I started eating plant-based was all about my health. In the past, it had all been about weight loss. I wanted to be healthy, but I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to be in a smaller size. I wanted to look better. I wanted to feel better about myself. I was very just discouraged in my appearance, and it was all about weight loss. So when it's all about weight loss, you can rationalize in your mind, I'm just going to go off for the weekend, and if I gain a little weight, that's okay. I'm going to get back on Monday. You can rationalize that because it's all about weight loss. Well, now it was all about health, because I had high cholesterol for decades and figured I'd have it for the rest of my life and be on statins for the rest of my life. Suddenly developed high blood pressure and realized that those two things could lead to heart disease. And it was a wake-up call for me. And we had been dealing with aging parents, and I had said to myself, is this direction you want to go? You want to age with a poor quality of life and be on 15 meds a day like our elderly parents had been? And so it was a health wake-up call. So the reset button was different this time. It was now about my health. I want my lab numbers to look good. I want the meds dosages to be decreased. I want to someday get off of meds. And so that was the first thing. I think my why changed this time when I hit the reset button. And then the next thing was my mindset. And I think it was because the why was my health. My mindset was not about I'm on a diet. My mindset was I'm making a lifestyle change. And that's how I started it, and that's how I went into it. This is not something temporary. This is something that's a lifestyle change, and I'm going to practice this. And I think that mindset made all the difference in the world. Mind you, The doctor had recommended the plant-based diet, and I wasn't counting calories anymore. I wasn't counting points. I wasn't counting anything. I was just eating plants, and I was following a whole food plant-based diet. And there was so much freedom in that, of not having to measure things, but just eating until I was satisfied. And if I wanted a little something sweet, which at the beginning I did have some of those cravings, I'd make a plant-based dessert and I would eat that. And I would eat, potatoes and things that I limited so much before, but also lots of beans and whole grains and greens and berries and all the other things that go with a plant-based diet. And the recipes were delicious. I would finish my meal feeling so completely satisfied, and I would feel nourished, and I didn't feel guilty, and I didn't feel like I need to lay down and take a nap. So I was so satisfied with the food, and I kept saying, it's becoming a lifestyle change. That's what I wanted, is a lifestyle change. So I think that made all the difference in the world too. And then I think lastly, I just kept doing the right thing. So on Monday, I would eat a healthy breakfast. And then I thought about food a lot in those days. And I would think, okay, for lunch, I'm gonna have a salad and I'm gonna have this. And then for my snack today, I'm gonna have this. And then for dinner, I'm making this recipe. And I just did the right thing on Monday. And then I woke up on Tuesday and I felt like, yeah, that was a good day. I really enjoyed that and I did it all day. And then on Tuesday, I ate a healthy breakfast. And then I ate a healthy lunch. I ate healthy snacks, and I fixed a really good, maybe I had leftovers, or I fixed a really good plant-based dinner, and I enjoyed it and I loved it. And Tuesday was done, and I did it on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, and then on Thursday. And I just kept making the right choices. And now when I look back, it's like, gosh, at the filming of this video, it's been over 5 years, and I've been doing this day after day after day, which is crazy when I think about it. I couldn't even stay on a diet in the past more than 8 weeks, and then I was feeling deprived and had already gone off the diet, only to go back on it in a few weeks and then off and then on and off. But this time it was different. So when I think about hitting the reset button, this is what I think. And hopefully this will be an encouragement to you if you feel like, oh my gosh, there's no hope for me. I don't have any discipline. I can't do this. I get you. I felt the very same way. But I think the very first thing is to do it for your health, not for weight loss. You probably will lose weight. It may be slow, but if that's not the primary reason, even if it's slow, even if it's 1 pound a month or 2 pounds a month, that's okay. Even if you don't lose in a month, but you lose the next month, if you're concentrating on it being your health, that will help a lot. So when you hit the reset button, think, I'm doing this for my health. And then the second thing is to change your mindset. This is not a diet that I'm on. This is a healthy way of eating, and I'm making it a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle change. So how can I go to a hotel, which I am in a hotel here now? I just got through eating some food that I brought from home for my dinner because it's a lifestyle. So think to yourself, I'm going out of town, so because this is my lifestyle, what do I do? I'm going on vacation, so because this is my lifestyle, how am I going to handle that? How am I going to plan? What am I going to do? I'm going out to eat with my spouse tonight. We're going to this restaurant. Let me look at the menu. What am I going to order? And at first, it'll seem almost more time consuming, and it'll seem awkward, uncomfortable maybe. But over time, it just becomes who you are because you're making it a lifestyle change. And so get that mentality. I'm not on a diet. I am making a lifestyle change. And then lastly, I believe that repetition breeds new habits. So just keep doing the right thing, and then tomorrow do the right thing, and the next day do the right thing. If you make a few mistakes, the next day do the right thing, and the next day do the right thing. And before you know it, you'll look back and you'll say, oh my gosh, here I am, 60 pounds lighter, and 5 years later, and I'm still doing this thing that I made my mind up that I was going to do. So don't be discouraged. Hit the reset button, but this time look at it a little differently. Look at it as I'm doing this for my health. I'm doing this as a lifestyle, and I'm going to do the right thing today. And tomorrow I'm going to do the right thing again. And before you know it, it's just going to be who you are, and it won't be difficult. It won't feel awkward anymore. It's just a new habits, and it comes very naturally, and you're going to feel great, and you're going to be so glad that you did. So forgive yourself if you're hitting the reset button. Just move on, and start by telling yourself, I'm making a lifestyle change, and I'm going to do the right thing today, and I'm doing this for my health. So hopefully this was an encouragement to you. Just always remember, when you sit down to eat, there is power in your plate, and what you eat really does matter. See you next time.